After Wednesday night's washout, Thursday afternoon has brought better weather. And it's brought another standing room only crowd to Comerica Park for what could be the clincher for Detroit. This American League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by the Capital One Cash Rewards Card. It is Game 4 in Detroit between the Yankees and the Tigers, with Detroit leading 3-0. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Detroit. Along with John Smoltz and Ron Darling, I'm Ernie Johnson. So overnight, no changes in the lineup for either side. We're going to try Game 4 again, and just for purposes of review, how did the Tigers get it, Ron, to 3-0?
Well, they got it here because dominant pitching. They've only given up an earned run by their starting pitchers in these 3 games. But you know what? The postseason really offers you a glimpse at some budding superstars. In 1996, it was Andrew Jones with the Atlanta Braves. He now wears a Yankee uniform. And in 2003, you had Miguel Cabrera, who now wears a uniform of the Tigers and plays third base. Well, the 21-year-old right fielder for the Detroit Tigers, Avisail Garcia, has just been amazing. 3 hits, all of them with runners in scoring position. That matches the total of the New York Yankees in this 3-game series. He's a guy that Jim Leyland has said is absolutely going to be in right field next year as an everyday player. And then when you look at the end of the bullpen, the rainout yesterday really allowed Phil Cope now to be available today. He's got 2 saves in the series.
So while the rainout benefits the Tigers in that regard, it didn't do the Yankees any favors at all, John.
No, it really didn't. I can't imagine if you're CC Sabathia and you pitch Game 5 that you would think you would be in this situation down 3-0. But for him, it's simple. It's not a fun game to pitch, but it's the game that you want to pass on to your teammate, Andy Pettitte. For CC Sabathia, he is their Justin Verlander, if you will. He's been outstanding in the playoffs, and you just got to say, not on my watch. It's not going to happen. Look, the Yankees haven't had a lead. The bats haven't woken up yet. But for CC Sabathia, you got to go out and pitch the game of your life to just extend the series.
Yankees are trying to force a Game 5, which would be here on Friday afternoon. Meantime, for the Detroit Tigers, hoping to sweep their way into the World Series. It's Game 4, and it's next here on TBS. beautiful day here in Detroit. Game 4 on the horizon. And it's 59 degrees as we check in for the first time today with Craig Sager.
Well, the Yankees are batting a mere 200 in the postseason. Only 182 against the Tigers. But last night's rain delay allowed hitting coach Kevin Long time to work with certain players to make corrections to their swings, particularly Nick Swisher. They noticed that he was not staying in control. He was jumping at the ball. When he does that, his swing gets long and he misses. In batting practice today, he was more compact. He was making better contact. As for Robinson Cano, he regained his confidence, and in batting practice today, he was crushing the ball to all fields. As for Alex Rodriguez, Kevin Long said, it's really tough. I feel sorry for him. I really worry about what he's going through right now. There wasn't much they could do to make his corrections in one day. But as for changing the mojo, trying to get something different, Kevin Long, the hitting coach, brought out the lineup card today for the first time all year. Joe Girardi said, go out there, give them our lineup, and maybe it'll lead to some runs. Ernie?
All right, thank you very much, Craig. And here's what that lineup card said as we bring it to you. Presented by Capital One Cash Rewards Card. Ichiro leads it off. Nick Swisher back in the lineup, hitting second. Robbie Cano in the 3 spot. Mark Teixeira hits cleanup. Raul Ibanez is the designated hitter. No A-Rod again, as we have told you, and Eric Chavez playing third. Russell Martin behind the plate, then it's Brett Gardner, who plays center field with Granderson not in the lineup, and Eduardo Nunez, who homered here the other night. That's ninth and plays short, and there is Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer, electric fastball. He can get a little wild with it. Pretty good slider. Not his best pitch. I'd say a changeup is his next best pitch. It almost acts as a screwball, but this is a guy that can rush it up there, just like Justin Verlander, up in the 90s, high 90s.
Scherzer is ready to go. First pitch to Ichiro is called strike one.
Well, if you haven't seen it, you got to limit the left-hander production. Left-handers hitting pretty good. 100 pitch count, very important, and better every month.
Ready to go, and he threw it behind Ichiro.
Quickly, an EKG on Ichiro after that pitch.
Well, nobody has a more diverse mechanical delivery, and certainly that's just a slip there.
Maybe he was reading all that stuff about the Giants and Holiday, and he had a flashback or something. I don't know.
Here's the 1-1. Ichiro slaps it foul, a ball and 2 strikes.
Or maybe he was trying to control the left-hander's production. Left-handers have done pretty well against him, and certainly the Yankees have a few of those guys in their lineup.
A ball and 2 strikes. And Ichiro hangs in there. Scherzer will pile up the strikeouts. In fact, he and his teammate Justin Verlander trading the 1-2 spots in the course of the regular season. He wound up second to Verlander in strikeouts, but was number 1 in strikeouts per 9 innings, averaging 11 per 9 innings.
You know, it's interesting, John. Jim Leland calls him the mechanical man, Scherzer. If his mechanics are good, he's going to be good. Talked about that 100-pitch limit. He had a start in April, end of April, against the Yankees, through 119 pitches and 4 2/3 innings.
And he walked 7 in that game. Bounced foul by Ichiro.
And the biggest thing is, you know, he's coming off of a tired shoulder that gave him a couple starts off. He hasn't pitched in the 7th since September 18th. So already Ichiro doing what Ichiro does best and making him throw 6 pitches with a 2-2 count. And we talked about him getting better every month. This is proof. ERA down every month along with the batting average, and you see that record. Did not start out very well, and certainly was one of the best pitchers on this staff along with Verlander.
Another 2-2. Sails high and away, and the count full to the Yankees leadoff hitter.
By far has been the best hitter in that Yankee lineup this entire series.
The 3-2. Just a little blooper. But Cabrera with glove at third. 1 down.
behind Scherzer defensively. You'll see Dirks in left field, Austin Jackson in center, and Garcia in right field. In the infield, Cabrera, Peralta, Infante, and Prince Fielder at first, with Gerald Laird getting the start against CC Sabathia, 10 for 24 in his career.
In a perfect world, that he would like to get about a 2-pitch out every once in a while, maybe a 1-pitch out, but he's going to work the count. The Yankees are going to make him work the count and work for everything he gets.
Here's Nick Swisher, switch hitter, who in this series is 2 for 8. In the postseason, just 154, 4 for 26, among the number of Yankees struggling offensively. In fact, the Yankees come into this game hitting 182 in the ALCS and just 200 for the postseason. Ran it inside, 2 balls and a strike. He broke down Scherzer month by month, and when you look at it, he made 32 starts, was 7-5 in his first 16, was 9-2 in the last 16.
It's just it's funky delivery. Hand gets underneath the ball sometimes. Changeup turns it over. Slider is not maybe his best. He'll throw a couple of them, but the fastball gets on the hitter so quick. He's got a lot of strikeouts with the fastball.
Two to Swisher.
Trying to go inside there, but this at bat has typified the Yankees. He's gotten 3 fastballs down the middle from Scherzer. He's fouled all of them back.
The same lineup the Tigers trotted out in game 1 against the lefty Andy Pettitte. And Swisher just does stay alive, fouling that off at the plate. What do you think it was like for Max Scherzer yesterday? You're all set to pitch in what could be the clincher, then you get the rain out. You saw him throwing a little bit in the outfield last night, and then having to come back here and get it done today.
I think being up 3-0, you're pretty happy. The other way can get a little hairy.
Breaking pitch, swung out and missed. 2 down.
Well, you look at this pitch right here, and this is the slider. First slider of the game. Not bad. Starts in the middle of the plate. Got to adjust for fastball. The spin takes it down. See, he gets on the side of the ball a little bit. They've made some improvements. His head doesn't snap as much anymore. See his head going to home plate? It never used to do that as much. He would look almost back to the outfield when he delivered the ball. So Jeff Jones and them worked on that, and he actually has a chance, if the ball's hit up the middle, to see it.
Here's Robbie Cano. Picked up his first hit of the series in his final at bat in game 3, singling to left field. He's 1 out of 14. And for the postseason, 3 for 36. Here comes the 0-1. Well, quickly Scherzer ahead 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen how, all right, every fastball just about is a foul ball for a strike. And because he gets it up there, the hitters are trying to get ready, and they've got to respect. When he's ahead in the count, he's got good numbers. 188 batting average. Behind, 349 for the hitters.
Tip into the glove of Gerald Laird. 3 up and 3 down. Half of the first. This afternoon's starting lineup brought to you by Capital One Cash Rewards Card. Austin Jackson leads it off for the Tigers, followed by Omar Infante and Miguel Cabrera. Prince Fielder hits cleanup. Delman Young, always dangerous in the 5-hole. Then it's Johnny Peralta. Andy Dirksen left. Abisail Garcia. You heard Ronnie talk about him in the pregame show. And Gerald Laird hits ninth and is behind the plate. CC Sabathia on the mound for the Yankees.
Well, CC Sabathia is going to attack you with fastballs, backdoor curveballs, and a dead fish changeup.
First pitch to Jackson, up and away, 1-0.
Quiet the crowd. That's going to be very important. The crowd's on their feet wanting to clinch this thing and take care of 3, 4, 5 and be the postseason ace as he has been. He's been dominant for the Yankees since joining them 7-1 in the postseason.
A ball and a strike to Austin Jackson.
Russell Martin saying, we're going to start this already. Off the mask in the first inning. We saw in the last game just trying to recover from a sore hand in the 9th inning. And this shot from Jackson. Austin Jackson has made himself in every department a better player, better fielder, better hitter, especially against left-handed pitching.
Hitting .289 against lefties this year. Steadily climbing from 2010 to the current campaign. That's in the air. Behind second. And Robbie Cano puts it away for the first out.
Defensively behind CC this afternoon. A little different defense. Suzuki in left field. Gardner's playing center field with Granderson out and Swisher back and right. And Chavez, 6 Gold Gloves at third base. Nunez, Cano, Teixeira, and Russell Martin behind the plate. Nunez is the wild card factor, and whether he can field his position. He made a beautiful play in Sunday night's game.
Here's Omar Infante.
Excuse me, let me check that, Ernie. I'm forgetting what days we are here. That would be Tuesday's game. He made a fine play up the center, up the middle off Andy Dirks.
Also homered in the 9th inning of that game as the Yankees tried to rally late. Infante is in there. He had a little bit of an issue after diving to try to make a play and injured his right thumb, but he's in there. He struggled in the series, 2 out of 13.
Well, this is a big ballpark, and we've had some difference in wins the last couple times that this game's been tried to play. Today, the wind will aid a ball going to left field, knock it down to right, and of course center. Good luck anyways.
2 balls and a strike. And the count 3-1. Yeah, we saw some balls get knocked down the other night. May as well just put a 900-foot sign in there in center field for what it's worth. Got Brett Gardner out there in center field. He's got a lot of speed. Granderson out of the lineup for the Yankees today. Infante waiting on a 3-1 from Sabathia. Got a kick out of reading about Jim Leland, how he spent part of his day on Wednesday. We're up 3-0 in the series. First thing in the morning, he's taking the car for an oil change. Said the light came on. He doesn't like driving around with that thing on, and so he went out, walked about 3/4 of a mile to a breakfast place, and folks were surprised to look up and see Jim Leland on the morning of what could be the clincher, sitting there having breakfast, getting the oil change that day. Rounded up toward third. Chavez can't get him. And Infante beat it out.
Well, Tuesday night, arguably one of the big errors for the Yankees was made by Chavez, and here waits back on the ball and really doesn't have a lot of sense of urgency, and Infante beats him to the bag. Kind of lackadaisical on this play. Once he got to it, took his time, tried to rush it at the end, but not a good enough throw to get there in time. Good hustle by Infante.
When I saw it live, Ron, I don't know that he picked it up off the bat real good, you know, and I think that might have aided him kind of holding back. He just didn't see it off the bat, it looked like.
So the Tigers with a runner on here in the first with 1 down, and here's Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera, of course, the Triple Crown winner and hit 44 home runs in the regular season. He averaged a homer every 14 at-bats. He's gone 38 at-bats now without a home run since October 1st. But it's not his longest drought of the season. Ball and a strike. At one point he went 63 games without a homer, another 44 and another 42. This drought at 38. He has knocked in 2 runs in the series and 3 in the postseason. Infante with the lead at first.
I'm trying to think of my longest drought now that you mention it. In between home runs.
That would be the 90s.
Home runs allowed or home runs?
No. Well, you can go either way. I know you can go either way there. But
that would be the 90s, John.
2-1. That ball is in the air to left. Ichiro makes the play for the second out. Umpiring crew for Game 4 today. Jeff Nelson is behind the plate. Gary Soderstrom is at first, Mike Winters at second, Jeff Kellogg at third, and down the lines, Rob Drake in left and Sam Holbrook in right. Here's Prince Fielder. 2 out of 12 in the series. And just 6 out of 33 in the postseason, 182. He did homer in that first series against Oakland, has not done so here against the Yankees. Infante will make the turn at second and make his way to third. They're at the corners with 2 down.
Well, just a fastball away that Fielder got off towards the end of the bat and kind of dropped it over the shortstop Eduardo Nunez's head. And nice running here by Infante as he turns it on and goes from first to third base.
Fielder taking what Sabathia gave him on the pitch away. And here's Delman Young. Who leads the Tigers with 5 runs batted in this series and 7 for the postseason. He goes the other way to right. Swisher overplays it on the hop. And the Tigers have broken out on top.
Well, like their best hitter, these Tigers, when they get in RBI situations, have no problem hitting the ball the other way. Young has done that a couple of times in this series. And let's not forget, 3 games in this series so far, he's got 3 game-winning RBIs, does Delman Young, and he drives in the first here.
Well, you see that ball dives down even more because of the wind. Swish can't get over there. But the Tigers have definitely gotten their bloops to fall and gotten them in the places that you have to get them into and taken advantage of it here in the first inning.
So first and second with a run in, and here is Johnny Peralta.
I think what's interesting, when you make a pitch and you beat the hitter, he's not necessarily intending to go there sometimes. It just happens. And good hitters find the ability to put the bat on the ball and find ways to get hits.
Peralta thought about it and checked his swing. Go ahead, Ronnie.
You know, John, you said that you saw Chavez had a hard time picking that ball off the bat, but that's what's led to this inning here. That's a play off the bat of Infante that's got to be made. If you make that play, you're not even in this inning. CC's sitting on the bench.
Ball and a strike to the Tigers shortstop. And the breaking pitch over 1-2.
That's the pitch the Tigers are going to see video. When you play a game against a guy, they have video that's played in the clubhouse. They play the game over and over again so everyone can watch. That's the pitch that gave the Tigers trouble. He was able to go to that pitch anytime he wanted for strikes, high percentage of strikes for that backdoor curveball.
A bullet foul, and it stays 1-2.
And what that does for a pitcher, when you almost have a free strike, when you can control that pitch, if you don't know how to get a hitter out or how to get that first strike, and he's an aggressive hitter, that's the best way, because the ball's starting for a ball and it comes back late, and the hitter does not recognize that as a fastball, sees it as a ball, and takes it.
Peralta's 10 hits lead the Tigers in the postseason. He's 5 out of 13 in this series. And he's waiting on a 1-2 from Sabathia. Upstairs, 2-2.
Peralta's a very unusual hitter when you watch him. Had a career year last year, but he's a front foot hitter. He's a guy that always seems to be lunging at the baseball, but still has great power.
Runners lead from first and second. And Peralta stays alive.
Well, one of the things the Tigers have done much better than the Yankees. The Yankees have scored 5 runs in the series on 2 two-run home runs and a solo shot. So they have not scored any runs without the benefit of a home run. Detroit has found 10 runs produced without a home run in this series.
A couple of big guys on the bags here, and Fielder and Young. And the pitch to Peralta, swung on and missed. And that'll do it for the Tigers in their half of the first. But they have not trailed in this series. And they score in the first and lead it 1-0. Right. Play TBS Social Dugout presented by Samsung Galaxy S3. Predict plays before they happen, score points, compete against your friends, and earn rewards. Download the app by visiting tbs.com/social dugout. Top half of the second inning here in Detroit. Game 4 of the ALCS. Mark Teixeira facing Max Scherzer. Once again, the Tigers employ the shift with Teixeira up there. 3 infielders on the right side.
Cabrera, the largest shortstop in the major leagues.
In the air, near the line. Dirks over and makes the play.
Well, look at the hustle by Cabrera and the nice play by Dirks. Getting there in foul territory just before it went in the stands. That's a lot of room to.
Well, we saw Cabrera the other night on a ball in foul territory near third have to sprint a long way to get in position. And Dirks covered a lot of ground there for the first out. Here's Ibanez. Just joining us in this Yankee lineup, if you haven't heard, how you haven't, I'm not even going to begin to imagine, but Alex Rodriguez not in it. Being benched for the second game of this series. You know, he talked to reporters before the game yesterday. There was that huge scrum down there, and he talked about how he feels like when he's in there, this team has a better chance of winning this New York Yankee team. How'd you feel about his comments that you heard yesterday?
Well, I think he's right. In general, he really is. I mean, that's why they got him over here for the contract they got him for. I mean, but the fact is, unfortunately, 18 at-bats against right-handers, 12 strikeouts. It hasn't even been remotely looking like he was on some pitches.
Ibanez goes down swinging for the second out.
But I would say the same thing if I were him. I mean, you got to believe that's the case, or otherwise you shouldn't take the uniform off. And I think he's been in a no-win situation more than any other player that I can remember being a superstar, where it doesn't matter what he says. It's going to be scrutinized. The year's going to have to be expired before they figure out the offseason and how they deal with this latter part of the year.
You know, the one thing, though, John, is that they might be sitting Alex Rodriguez, they might be sitting Curtis Granderson, but this is a team-wide problem.
Exactly
Robbie
right.
Cano is only 1 for 24 with a double off a right-hander. So, you know, the entire team has struggled.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And I think that because you make the most and you draw the most attention, that's where people are going to go. But the Yankees as a whole have struggled.
And the guy who's playing third base for Rodriguez is at the plate right now. Eric Chavez. He's 0 for 14 in the postseason. Takes a strike. 1-2.
Look, one of the things the Yankees have been well documented during the year, they led all the world in home runs. It's hard to win a World Series with that formula. You have to create without the home run.
Scherzer to the max in the second. 2 more Ks.
gets your hand.
Exactly, it's that sticky.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Bottom half of the second here in Detroit. Here's Andy Dirks to lead it off against Sabathia. Tries to lay one down. And Chavez. Ball just didn't stay up long enough for him. 0-1.
Well, Dirks has had a tough series against the Yankees, just trying to generate some kind of offense.
Dirks lines it right up the middle for a leadoff single here in the second.
Well, you see this slider, or this curveball, I'm sorry, rolls over the zone, and he's short to the ball. Instead of doing much with it, he just tries to go right up the middle and gets a leadoff base hit for the Tigers.
Sometimes it seems as though left-handers take better at bats off CC than the right-handers.
Here's the 21-year-old Miguel Cabrera lookalike that Ron talked about as we came on the air today. Avisail Garcia, who squares to bunt. That's in the air. Teixeira's got to play at second. That ball hung in the air, and Dirks had to wait to see if it would be caught. It allowed Teixeira to get the force at second.
When you're a AAA player of the year, you've got power. You're very rarely asked to bunt. But here he is, a young player in the postseason, being asked to bunt. Very bad technique. And he also doesn't run coming out of the box. So Teixeira knows that he has a chance if he can get rid of it, maybe to double him up at first base. But Nunez held the baseball, and I think smartly held the baseball as Garcia turned it on after staying at the plate for a while.
So a runner at first with one down for Gerald Laird, the number 9 hitter in the Tiger lineup.
The one thing this game provides for Detroit is obviously they got a lot more room for error. They can be aggressive. They can try anything they want for the most part, whereas New York's got to play it closer to the elimination game form.
Count even, a ball and a strike. CC Sabathia in that first series against the Baltimore Orioles, pitching game 1 and game 5. Nearly went the distance in the opener, 8 2/3, as the Yankees rallied in the 9th to win that one. And then he pitched the clincher, going the distance and putting the Yankees in the ALCS against these Tigers.
Probably asking yourself, why would a number 8 place hitter bunt in front of the 9th place hitter? Well, Gerald Laird's 10 for 24 off CC Sabathia, so you're right. Verlander just trying to be a little overly aggressive. Not Verlander, of course. Jimmy Leland trying to be a little over aggressive to try to generate another run.
Laird has a homer in that 10 for 24 against Sabathia.
Well, CC is all about the command of his fastball. I mean, he can rush it up there too, but he commands it on the outside part of the plate. He elevates it, and then he changes speeds. And he has been in total command this postseason with his ability, not only with his mechanics, repeating the delivery, but throwing fastballs where he wants to. Only one time did it leak, in the 8th inning against Baltimore in Game 5.
What's interesting about CC this time of year, usually he's made 32 to 35 starts coming into the postseason, but he had minor injuries during the year, missed 3 or 4 starts, and seems fresher than he has in past postseasons, despite his 7-1 record since joining the Yankees.
The 2-2. In the air, shallow right. Cano back. Squeezes it for the second out. Watch bonus camera angles for the ALCS games with postseason.tv. You can get started right now at MLB.com.
Part of the reason of also maybe trying to bunt and get some runs early. You got the shadow factor that we didn't think we were going to have because we thought it was going to be a lot of clouds. Well, there are no clouds, so it'd be interesting to see as the shadow moves its way towards the mound and the hitter. Obviously, the middle part of the game could present some tough hitting conditions, so an early lead is very important for either team.
Here's the top of the Detroit order. Austin Jackson, who popped his second his first time. Takes a breaking pitch over 0-1. Garcia with the lead at first. Jackson waiting on an 0-1, and the count even at a ball and a strike. Tigers on the board in the first. Omar Infante with an infield single. Fielder also singled, and then Delman Young. Who else? Knocked in Infante. Runner going. The throw by Martin will be late. Garcia has it stolen.
Again, the Tigers being overly aggressive with their young right fielder, only 21 years old. Gets a pretty good jump here. You got the leadoff hitter Jackson up. If he gets thrown out, Jackson will lead off the next inning. But excellent speed, good slide, in there easily. Sweep around tag there by Cano.
The 2-1 in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike. Here's Infante, the on-deck hitter, who singled and scored the only Detroit run. We are in the second in Game 4 of the American League Championship Series. And the count's full to Jackson.
Despite the size of Garcia, as you said before, and he's almost like a mini Miguel Cabrera, stole 23 bases in 122 games at 2 minor league stops, so he's got some great speed. In fact, Jimmy Leland said at some point, you know, he could even play center field. That's how good of an outfielder he projects to be.
He's got a great arm, and that was on display in that first series against Oakland.
Well, we mentioned in the open 3, 4, 5 hitters are going to be really important. 2 of the 3 got hits. And that's the part of the lineup that obviously is damage control if you're a pitcher.
The 3-2. He stays alive. That stolen bag by Garcia, his first in the big leagues, came up at the end of August. And he steals one here in the ALCS. He's in scoring position for Austin Jackson.
On the other side of the team, Diamond with Verlander. You want to know why he's so good? You see his numbers against 3, 4, 5. They're a joke.
Another 3-2 on the way, and Jackson fouls it away.
We talked about it before this, Justin Verlander, about Austin Jackson and the new improved Austin Jackson. He's a guy that got his punch outs up well over 180 in one particular season, but he has cut down on those and become a much better 2-strike hitter.
And again, part of that 2009 trade that brought him here and sent Curtis Granderson to the New York Yankees. Ball 4, they're at first and second. First walk of the day for Sabathia.
And he Pettit hoping he can get the ball tomorrow.
Here's Omar Infante. Strike 0-1. Infante, originally drafted by the Tigers back in '99. Second tour of duty with the club, came over from the Marlins. in July. It's really one of those key moves that a team makes when he really solidified things on the right side of the infield. And he's been an integral part of this Jim Leyland team as he squirts that one to first. And Teixeira will take it himself. And that'll do it for the Tigers in their half of the second. We head to the third in a 1-0 game.
So we're going to push all the Americans into Canada.
This American League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by the Capital One Cash Rewards Card. We are in Detroit for Game 4. Tigers leading 3-0. And leading here in Game 4, 1-0, as the Yankees send the 7, 8, 9 hitters to the mound against Max Scherzer. So Martin comes up dry, 0-1.
Well, I want to finish the thought I was saying earlier because I normally don't finish the thought.
That you have earlier.
Yeah, that I had earlier. I'll say right after this pitch.
0-2, make it quick.
But on the home run front, only one team since 1985 has led Major League Baseball in home runs and went on to win the World Series. I'll give you a hint who that was.
It'd be the 2009 Yankees.
You're right. Point being is you've got to be able at this time. You're going to run into hot pitchers. You're going to run into pitchers with stuff. You're not facing the 4th and 5th starters all the time.
And this Yankee team actually set a new franchise record for home runs, which was held by that 2009 team. 245 this year. Martin with a bouncer past third, but foul.
And it looks good, feels good during the regular year. You get back in games, you hit the 3-run homers, and you could go around and check all the 3-run homers in the postseason. You're not going to find too many. They happen, but you're just not going to find too many.
A 1-2 by Scherzer. In the air to center field. Austin Jackson in his tracks. 1 down. Yankees and Tigers fans follow their teams with the Team Stream app. Download Team Stream. Choose your teams and you're set. Get Team Stream from Bleacher Report today. Here's Brett Gardner.
You see the shadows have already creeped up past the catcher's area there. It'll be on the mound here in about an inning and a half. Pretty good hitting background here, though, with that Ivy, or I guess that's Ivy.
Yeah, just starting to turn brown here in the fall. You know, it's like the starting pitching for the Tigers are just not letting the Yankees off the mat. You know, the first 11 hitters, 10 hitters were retired by Justin Verlander, and 7 here by Scherzer.
Gardner takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. He's looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 5. Did steal a couple of bags. They're looking for his first hit of the postseason. It's a strike. 2-1. Gardner's got great speed. He can handle the bat. That's why Cabrera is in on the grass at third. Even 2-2 for a while. All Gardner really could do as he came back from injury was bunt. He was cleared to take swings in the cage and gotten to the point now where he's able to all facets of his game back. And he's the starter and center fielder here in center field with Granderson out. The ball's hit up the middle. Infante hurries and gets the diving Gardner for the second out.
Well, even the Infante here with that thumb you were talking about makes a strong, accurate throw, and never understand why a guy with great speed slides into first base. He can get there much quicker with the speed he has, but decides to lay out. I guess most players think that it looks like you're hustling more, but it's not a better play.
2 up and 2 down. And here's Eduardo Nunez, who takes a strike.
It's a much better play when the first baseman's got to come into the line or reach up, and there's the tag that has to take place. And it's a much better play.
A squibber down the line, and fielder can't handle it. Nunez is safe. That thing had all kind of action on it.
If this would have been a different runner, I think he would have had a different approach in fielding this ball, because it goes off the end of the bat. You see it spinning right there. It's coming back into fair territory, and he's just trying to get the hop 2-hand approach, but it got him on the heel.
In pool, they have the word masse. Well, this is the equivalent for a baseball player, as that ball just squibbing off the end of the bat. Once you go down to it 2 hands, it kind of almost just spins right out of your glove.
I learned something new from you every day, Ron.
I wish it was more valuable.
Only billiard term I know is scratch. Here's Ichiro. 2 down and a runner at first. And Ichiro takes a strike on the inside corner. 0-1.
Same situation as we had last inning. Get the leadoff hitter on, 2 outs, runner on first with good speed. Look for him to try and take the best chance he can when he feels like he's read Scherzer and steal.
Two.
And as a pitcher, that helps when you can throw 2 strikes to the next guy and get him in a defensive position. And now he's got to protect anything close. So if he does decide to steal, he's going to have to protect the strike zone.
Ichiro hit a little nubber to Cabrera his first time. No balls and 2 strikes. There goes Nunez. Pitch outside, the throw late, and Nunez has it stolen.
Well, John, just what you were talking about, good play here by Nunez. Gets a big jump, looks in, what steals this base pretty easily off Scherzer. Scherzer takes a long time to deliver the ball to the plate. Laird with a pretty accurate and strong throw. No chance at Nunez.
Ichiro almost tried to. He just held up his swing right there. pitch was close enough that maybe he thought he had to go after it, but held it up.
So the Yankees have the tying run in scoring position here in the third. Nunez reaching on a 2-out error on Fielder. A stolen base has him at second, and Ichiro waiting on a 1-2.
So far, the Tiger defense, all they've done is bailed out the Tiger pitchers. They haven't had a situation like this come back to hurt them yet. So this error being with 2 outs gives a chance for Scherzer to make that go away by getting Ichiro out.
Shadows are starting to play a part here. You know, Ichiro, a lot of his base hits go to left field. So incumbent on Nunez to get a great jump off second.
And 2 strikes. Ichiro came in hitting .429 for the series.
Dirks keeps inching in just a little bit. I don't think he's in enough with the way that he can serve the ball to left field.
Ichiro works a full count. It's 3-2. With Nunez at second and 2 down. Ichiro 2 out of 2 with runners in scoring position in this series. And that's grounded foul. Fielder gloves it. CC Sabathia allowing a first-inning run to the Tigers here in Game 4. And New York trying to get it back here in the third. Once again, the 3-2. Works a walk with 2 down. They're at first and second.
Well, great at bat by Ichiro Suzuki. Tries to come inside, does Scherzer, with that fastball that comes back out over the plate. Didn't come back enough.
Awfully close. I think it locks him up either way. So Ichiro gets the benefit of it being called a ball, which it was. But sometimes a pitcher can make such a good pitch that the hitter says, "Uh-oh, please."
They beat me.
That brings Nick Swisher to the plate. Just 1 out of 34 in his career in the postseason with runners in scoring position.
Well, the one thing that the error has done is unfortunately adds to the pitch count. Currently at 51. You don't want to have to work super hard to throw that many more pitches.
Really has 49 to go. Leland said he's going to be on about a 100 pitch limit.
Ball and a strike.
Bottom drops out of that one. It's interesting the way he throws his changeup. He almost falls a little bit towards first base, and his hand is left parallel to his body, which therefore turns it over. It acts like a screwball.
Missed inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, we heard in the pregame that Craig Sager was talking about how Kevin Long, the hitting coach of the Yankees, working with Swisher to stay back. The way to counter that is with good changeups and breaking balls, and that's what, until that fastball there, Scherzer has thrown to Swisher.
Scherzer looks Nunez back at second. This inning started innocently enough. Fly ball to center field and a ground out to second. But then Prince Fielder misplayed a roller by Nunez. Ichiro walked. balls and 2 strikes to Swisher.
Well, you always want to see tendencies on your umpires, and Jeff Nelson has done a great job in consistently calling the low pitch. He is calling that ball in the bottom of the strike zone ever since this game has started.
I think he might go to the changeup right here after just really speeding up the fastball.
Swisher wants time. Got it. Fifth strikeout of the day for Scherzer. And it comes with 2 on in the 3rd. Peak Performance brought to you by Nissan, makers of the all-new Altima. You look at the most strikeouts, and Justin Verlander by 8 over his teammate Max Scherzer. And you see, I know you do at home, that there's a headset on Justin Verlander. He's joining us here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning as the Tigers come to the plate. Cabrera against Sabathia, and he takes a strike 0-1. Justin, thanks a lot for taking a few minutes with us.
No problem, guys.
So we talk about the strikeouts that you at Scherzer have racked up. He picked a great time to get his 5th of the game right there to end the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, no kidding. That was a big spot, and you know, when your teammate makes an error behind you, you can't feel any better than making a big pitch and picking him up like that.
Justin, one of the things I wanted to know is what was the most you learned after the early postseason starts? What did you learn and has taken it obviously to the next level?
I think just experience, just having been out there and learning how to use your angst and your energy to your benefit and not having it work against you. And I don't think you can teach it. I think it's just having time out there and learning how to pitch under those big pressure situations.
Justin, I know you said it doesn't matter really who's in the lineup, but, Alex Rodriguez had some success against you and wasn't in the lineup. Does that matter to you when you're going in the postseason?
I mean, yes and no. Really, you just try to.
Go ahead. That's a 1-2 that's hit to Swisher for the first out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You just try to make your pitches no matter who's in there. You can't pay attention to the names in the backs or who's in and who's out of the lineup. That's their call. You just go out there and execute and come up with your game plan pregame for whoever's in that lineup that day, and try to execute to the best of your ability.
Justin, describe for me the mood, the atmosphere in that Tiger clubhouse when you guys have a 3-0 series lead.
To be honest with you, it hasn't changed. We're not taking anything for granted. I don't think we're playing any more relaxed. I think we've been playing about as relaxed as we can the whole time, just having fun and playing the game and letting our talent speak for itself. Against a team, especially like the Yankees or any team in the postseason, you can't take anything for granted. Up 3-0 with 1 to go. We've seen it done before. These guys had it done to them by Boston. So we just got to win one more. Hopefully it's today.
Prince Fielder waiting on a 1-0 from CC Sabathia. Breaking pitch and a beauty, 1-1.
I'm intrigued with what not only you've done, but the theories that exist today, and you're basically what I like, spitting in the face of these theories. Do you work out all year? I mean, how much do you contribute to your program and what you're able to do, get in and making all your starts?
I contribute a lot of that to my off-season workouts. I work out really hard in the off-season, try to gain as much strength as I can in my core and my legs. And then once the season starts, I work out, but not nearly as strenuous. I just try to maintain throughout the year what I worked on in the off-season. And, so I think it's a mix of that and just, that's just the way I've always been since I picked up at baseball when I was 5 years old. Just got stronger as the game went on and was able to throw a lot.
They don't get much better at first base than Mark Teixeira, and that's one of those in-between plays he tried to pick and the ball got by him. It is a base hit, which has Fielder at first.
Well, but you never see him make that play. Whenever that play comes to him, Teixeira, you usually see him block that in front of him. Tried to sweep with the right hand. Left hand did not work.
Here's Delmon Young. What is it about the postseason and this guy, Justin?
I think it's just having done it last year. I think he's got a lot of confidence in himself, and we do too. And I think having postseason experience and success in the past just breeds confidence in you. And, obviously he's extremely talented. He's always been able to hit. And when you have that confidence and that ability, I think it usually ends up well for the guy.
He knocked in the first Tigers run of this game in the first after Infante had singled and Fielder had singled. He bats now with a runner at first and 1 down. Tigers trying to clinch. Up 3-0 and in the game 1-0. And here comes the 2-0. Came up empty, 2 balls and a strike.
Well, Justin, there's very few pitchers in the history of this game that have captivated their home team crowd like you have when you go out there. How does that help you with the success, especially later in games?
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. These fans here have really embraced me and, made a name for myself here in Detroit. I love playing here for these fans in the city of Detroit. And, the ovation that they show, especially, last night or a couple nights ago is a great example of that. The ovation I got going out there for the 9th, just shows they appreciate all the hard work that I do and blood, sweat, and tears that I put out there on the field every time I go out there.
How difficult was that 9th inning for you once you did come out? I know we had a shot of you in the dugout rubbing somebody's noggin.
That's Doug Teeter, our trainer. I don't know. I was just trying to find a good luck charm.
It apparently worked in Game 3. It's a 2-ball and 2-strike count to Delmon Young. That's inside, and the count is full.
I got to say, everything you do on the field is well documented, but have you been getting any interest from Hollywood after your commercial?
I don't think so, man. I had fun doing it, and it was a blast, and I enjoy doing stuff like that. It helps promote the city, it helps promote Detroit and myself, so it's a lot of fun, but I haven't gotten any calls for any movie gigs or anything.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Delmon Young waiting on CC Sabathia.
Homer.
And an attempted call by Justin Verlander. Just some wishful thinking out of the Detroit dugout. Fouled away on the 3-2.
Well, the one thing you do as players, Justin, when you're trying to call home runs for your teammates, you still take up into the booth. You just have to push the cough button up here so no one will hear.
Hey, man, I would look like a genius if you'd hit one right there.
3-2 with Fielder at first. One down here in the third. And Young fouls that away the other way.
Well, if anyone's going to hit a home run off the Yankees, it'll be Delmon Young. 5 now in the last 2 postseasons. 7 total as a Tiger.
Be a great time.
He's knocked in 8 runs in this postseason to lead the club, and has 6 ribbies in this series. Another 3-2, and that misses. Runners are at first and second. Justin, we want to thank you for spending a few minutes with us, man. Continued success.
No problem. I want to stay on the mic. I told you guys I got a streak going.
Okay. No, you win. Keep it on.
I got to keep the mic on. If we score, I mean, it's a streak every time I put this headset on.
I got you. Here's Johnny Peralta with runners at first and second.
You guys don't have to talk to me if you don't want to. Just keep this on.
I know you want to watch the game. I don't know if you want to be bothered to talk for an entire half inning, but you are welcome to stay. Here comes the pitch to Peralta. Over for a strike, 0-1. You guys had to come down the stretch, Justin, as a team. You lose that makeup game to the White Sox, and you're 3 back, and time's running out on the season. What was the collective psyche on this team down the stretch?
I think we stayed confident, you know, and I think that bodes well for us in the playoffs. We had to play with our backs against the wall the last month of the season. And, you know, played in pressure games. A lot of guys here that hadn't experienced the postseason before. A lot of the young guys, I think you get a similar type feel when you go out there and play must-win games. And we won a lot of those must-win games, especially against the White Sox. So I really liked the way this team was shaping up if we were able to get into the postseason.
As it turns out, the Tigers winning 8 of their last 10. And the White Sox stumbling down the stretch gave the Central Division title to Detroit. Peralta waiting. Fouled away.
Justin, how do you acquire information? There's so much information. Are you a video guide? You rely a lot on stats. What is a big part of your learning?
I think I look at a little bit of video, but for me, the biggest thing I go off of is past experience facing a guy. You know, I'd like facing guys that I've faced before. More so than facing a young rookie, just because I know what I've gotten them out with and what I've had success with against that guy. I watch a little bit of video, usually my last start or somebody that throws similar type pitches to me against that team. But like I said, I go off of what I've done to that person.
Inside to Peralta. Let me ask you this. You pitch in Game 3 against a Yankee lineup that does not have Alex Rodriguez in it. He has struggled mightily, obviously. But when you're pitching and you look at a lineup and say, well, he's not in there, what goes through your mind?
Nothing. You know, I'm just preparing Game 3 the way it is. You know, I got to look at the names that are on that lineup card. And obviously, I'm prepared to face A-Rod just in case he gets a pinch hit or something. And just like I'm prepared for anybody in that lineup.
Fly ball to left. Ichiro goes back. The edge of the track. He makes the play. For the second out. How long is this streak you've got, Justin?
All year long, man. Let's not ruin it.
Now we're sharing in the blame, apparently.
I'm blaming this on you guys if we don't score.
I got you. Alex Rodriguez aside, though, when you're facing a team that is struggling at the plate, what does that alter your approach at all?
I can't say it does. You know, I'm always somebody that's going to go out there and try to be aggressive with the fastball first and foremost. So whether a team's struggling or not, you know, it doesn't really change the way that I approach my game plan.
Here's Andy Dirks. He singled sharply up the middle his first time. Tigers have had base runners in every inning. We're in the third. Detroit on top 1-0 in a game they hope is the clincher and sweeps them into the World Series. On the ground, off the glove of Teixeira. All hands are safe. Oh, what a a half inning for Mark Teixeira at first.
Well, again, this is going to take a really strange hop, almost a topspin hop. I don't know if it hit one of the foot marks in the dirt, but this ball, as soon as it hits the ground, he backs up trying to play the hop, and it takes off a little bit higher than he imagined. Normally, he might even thought he had it in the glove as he was trying to.
I think he thought he had it in the pocket, went to go get it, and it was behind him. And by that time, big guy CC could not get there in time for the slow from Cano. Yeah.
That's ruled an E3. So now they're loaded with 2 out for Abisail Garcia. And he takes a strike. Garcia tried to lay down a bunt his first time. Stayed in the air a long time, and Teixeira got the force at second. He's had big RBIs, the 21-year-old has. And he waits on Sabathia. Justin, you haven't seen much of this kid coming up in late August, but what about what you have seen?
Extremely impressive. You know, he's got a great idea at the plate for such a young hitter, and his right field's been impeccable. He's got a hose of an arm. He can run. You know, he really is a 5-tool guy. He hasn't hit a homer yet in the big leagues, but you know, you should see him in batting practice. He's got just as much pop as anybody on this team, and that's saying a lot with Miguel and Prince on here.
He got his first stolen base in the bigs in the second inning. He bats here with the bases loaded and 2 out in a 1-0 game. Sabathia with an 0-2.
That's pretty good discipline right there after getting 0-2 and throwing after fouling off a fastball. He comes back with a tight curveball down by his back foot. A pitch a lot of guys would go after, trying to get something and drive in a run with the bases loaded. Now a 1-2 count.
Fielder, Young, and Dirks are the runners, and Garcia asks for time from home plate umpire Jeff Nelson and gets it.
If there's any place the Tigers have struggled this season, it's been with the bases loaded. Their average is only .217. They've only hit 1 grand slam. But this young man's only been up since September. He hasn't seen a lot of that.
Runners lead from every base. Garcia waits on a 1-2 and stays alive.
CC elevated that one right there. Both would like to have it back. The hitter and CC would like to have it back, but a foul ball kept it neutral.
67 pitches thrown by CC Sabathia as we play here in the bottom of the third.
I got a feeling the pitch count's not going to matter to CC. That day off lost him for game 7. So
a 1-2 right back up the middle. Nunez gloves will not get him. Run scores.
All right, guys, my job's done here.
And the streak is alive. An infield single for Garcia makes it 2-0.
John, I'm not sure, but it almost looks like CC let this ball go. Thought it was going to be an easy play. No,
he got caught on his footwork right there, and it's been a frustrating inning because really this should have never got to this point. But the game is a strange game, and when things are going good for you, they're going good for you, and when they're not, they're not. And CC is battling, and for the Yankees, they're going to have to keep it right there.
Kind of 2 missed plays by Teixeira at first base. A spiked throw from Nunez on that ground ball up the middle.
So the Tigers lead it 2-0. Another RBI for the 21-year-old.
Be careful on this first pitch.
Gerald Laird tried to check, and Gary Cedarstrom said he did not go. 1-0.
And CC knew it too. He threw a great curveball because in this moment after that play, the hitter who's had success off the pitcher looking to really get this crowd going, attacking the fastball. CC threw the slider.
Meantime, Justin Verlander, his streak intact, is back on headset. As Laird takes down low, 2-0. It's very hard to get with your teammates when you're tethered to that headset. I know.
You know we're superstitious, man. I got to come back.
That's the first time I've ever felt pressure in the booth.
Bases still loaded with 2 out. A run in for Detroit. And Gerald Laird waiting on a 2-0 from Sabathia. Over for a strike. Here comes the 2-1. Another bad one forces in a run. Dangerous count, 3-1.
Larry Rothschild going to the phone.
Toward right, Swisher right there. Justin Verlander, thank you very much for spending some time with the streak alive for JV.
All right, guys.
And it's a 2-0 Tiger lead as we go to the 4th. Last year, Webb Simpson. It's golf's most exclusive event, major champions only. The 2012 PGA Grand Slam of Golf from the Port Royal Golf Course in Bermuda. It all starts Tuesday, October 23rd at 4 o'clock Eastern and Pacific on TNT. Top half of the 4th inning. Tigers added to their lead in the 3rd, but left them loaded.
Let me just tell you, CC Sabathia did a great job limiting that damage to 1. It felt like they scored 3 times with all that took place. So the Yankees still only 2-0 down.
Robinson Cano leading off against Max Scherzer.
And the reason I say that, Ernie, is because this is a game of that frustration teeter-totter. You're down 3-0. It can go the other way really quick. And he kept his team in the game when plays should have been made, infield hits, and that's what you got to do as a big-time pitcher. When everything goes right, it looks good, but you got to stop the bleeding.
Cano to center. Jackson. One down. Here's Mark Teixeira with one down in the fourth. The Tigers go into that shift. Teixeira flied out to left his first time.
Interesting. This shift's a little
long run by Dirks. I'm
sorry, Ernie. This shift's a little different. A lot of times teams put that second baseman back in the outfield. They back him up Infante 5, 6, 7 steps.
Meantime, in left field, Andy Dirks well off the line. And he had to make a long run into foul territory to retire Teixeira his first time.
Max Scherzer has the luxury of pitching with Justin Verlander, and what I mean by that is they're similar in what they do, and they can read hitters a lot easier than a Sanchez per se. And what I mean by that is you want to have kind of the closeness to a fastball that he throws, and he throws a changeup, so he's going to be able to look and feed off of what Verlander did. Sanchez, being a total different pitcher, would have to read it differently, so he benefits from watching Justin Verlander pitch.
The 1-2. Strikeout number 6 for Max Scherzer.
Talk about all the quadrants in this at bat. He certainly did that. He went up with the fastball, down with the changeup. It's just tough to hit when you have this kind of velocity and you're trying to fight off a fastball that looks good when it comes out of his hands.
Scherzer retired the side in order in the first and second. Got the first 2 outs in the third before a fielder error and an Ichiro walk forced him to pitch out of trouble. He's retired the first 2 here in the fourth, and Raul Ibanez waits on an 0-1. And he's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Ibanez a strikeout victim his first time.
Scherzer really has these Yankee hitters kind of on a seesaw, don't they, John?
Yeah.
The changeup, fastball in.
Well, his changeup has a mind of its own. It's not a traditional changeup. Sometimes it cuts and goes straight down. Sometimes it floats away. It makes it really difficult with the 14-mile-an-hour difference, and the arm action really is what his key is. Because it's funky and they don't pick it up traditionally like an overhand thrower, his effective wildness is to his advantage.
Ibanez went back to the dugout to get a new bat. Now he is striding back to the plate and ready to go. Five runs batted in the postseason, matching Ichiro for the Yankees. But in the drama department, nobody's been better. Nibbled at the corner and missed. 2-2.
And this ball is definitely way outside. Good movement away. Again, though, you're getting the hitter to look out there. He saw something out there. If he wants to come in, he can. If he wants to drop a changeup, he can.
And he has struck out Ibanez for the second time. 7 strikeouts in 4 innings for Max Scherzer. Tigers 2-zip. Bottom half of the 4th inning here in Detroit. The Tiger faithful at Comerica Park, hoping the night ends in celebration. They lead the series 3-0 and the game 2-0. And Austin Jackson at the top of the order here in the 4th. Strike from Sabathia. 0-1, and Ron, this game a little bit similar to Game 3 in terms of the way they're turning the lineup over and over.
Well, yes, this 3rd time up here for Jackson, only in the 4th inning. Interesting that Jackson, I thought when he came up to hit in this inning, he might try to bunt. One of the things you can do against CC is bunt that ball on the right side, try to beat him to first base. But now down 0-2. Teixeira back.
Well, we keep talking about the Yankee hitters, and it's well documented because they just haven't produced. But the Yankees pitchers have been really good, and they've given them a chance every 9th inning to compete and stay in this game. And that's what CC's done. Although be it 3 innings, it's been a lot of traffic.
Breaking pitch missed, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it's 3-0, but through 9 innings on the first game, they scored 4 runs, the Tigers, 3 runs in the second game, and 2 runs in the last game. So the pitching has not been a problem.
And Jackson goes down swinging for the first out here in the 4th. Get to the game with Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. Find your chance to win postseason tickets and an all-new Malibu, pictured there at Chevy.com/tickets. A couple of Chevys out there in straightaway center field here at Comerica Park. That'd be a Camaro right there. And this would be Omar Infante facing CC Sabathia. Swinging at the first pitch and fouling it away. Infante singled in the first and would score the first Detroit run. Rounded to Teixeira in the second. He's scored 8 runs now in the postseason for Detroit. Infante bats with Cabrera on deck in a 2-0 game. Sabathia to the plate. Over Cano and into center for a 1-out single. Didn't get much of it, but got enough.
That's really been the story of the game. I mean, they've hit balls up the middle, they hit balls off the glove, off the end of the bat. Another good pitch by CC. And another bat goes down, a hero for the Tigers.
You know, you talked about it before that Infante really solidified second base for the Tigers all season long. It was like an audition camp out there with the second baseman only producing a 2.01 average. Infante, of course, has been much better than that.
Well, here's Cabrera. 0 for 2. Fly out to left and a fly out to right. And that ball is drilled to left. No doubt about it.
They have tried to pitch Cabrera in this entire series. They have been doing a great job at it, but you just knew that someone was going to miss one time inside, and it's CC Sabathia here.
Yeah, I was just going to say the starters as a whole had a great game plan. They've executed it. One bad pitch over the middle of the plate. That's why this guy is so good. But the starters have done what you needed to do to keep him from hitting the ball over the fence. Until that pitch.
Here's Fielder, who takes a strike. First home run of this postseason for Cabrera. And remember the number we told you earlier in the series, that in the regular season, of his 44 home runs, 40 came off right-handed pitching. This one comes off the lefty Sabathia. And it gives the Tigers a 4-0 lead. That was long and majestic, an absolute bomb.
Well, again, he just sits there and smokes it, and you see everybody right away. They're not doing the wave. We have seen their slugger do this quite a few times in this park.
They moved the fences in a few years ago. No need for Cabrera.
Here's Delvin Young. Young, the team's leader in RBIs here in the postseason. Knocked in his 8th earlier. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Oh, EJ, you said earlier that Miguel Cabrera had a streak of not hitting a home run in about 38 at-bats. Well, he has been getting on base, though. He has now hit safely in all 17 League Championship Series games he has played in. That's a record. He passed Pete Rose and Manny Ramirez, and he has reached base safely in all 20 postseason games with the Tigers, also a record.
I tell you, with Miguel Cabrera, you don't know where to begin and where to end with the superlatives and with the stats and with the streaks and that kind of thing. And here, that home run, his first of this postseason, has him charged up. It's a 4-0 game in the bottom of the fourth.
I don't think there's a better hitter out there who sees less pitches to hit, and when he gets one, he very rarely misses it. He's the kind of player even the teammates are in awe when he hits a ball like that.
3-2 to Young.
Well, the longer he plays, the better his average seems to get in the postseason. First round doesn't do much. Second round pretty good. They get in the World Series, they're going to have their hands full, whoever has to pitch against them.
On the ground, in the hole and in the left. Base hit for Delmon Young.
Got to come in with a fastball. Of course, just finds the hole.
Nine hits for the Tigers as we play here in the fourth. And here's Johnny Peralta. On that ball, a towering fly to left. Ichiro back. It's gone. The Tigers pouring it on here in the fourth.
Talk about left field. It would be aided. The first one that was hit didn't need to be aided. This one got up in the air and actually carried a little bit farther than maybe it normally would have. You saw Ichiro stand there for a little while and then back up, but the hitter knew it.
We saw Peralta begin this series with his glove helping the Tigers win. Is he going to end it with his bat?
Andy Dirks going the opposite way. That's in the gap to left center field. Dirks standing at second with a fourth inning double. This place is going crazy.
Well, we said these games are a game of emotion. Unfortunately, when you're down 3-0, you hope you can be in a situation where it doesn't go the other way quickly. Statistics tell you what your chances are. But guys are grinding out there to try and disprove that. It just hasn't gone well this inning for CC Sabathia as the bullpen's trying to get ready.
Cody Epley up and getting loose. Six runs on 11 hits for Detroit.
Eric Chavez running in the talk to CC.
Player never does this, but if the truth be known, you say, hey, I'm out here to stall. You got to get the bullpen guy ready.
There's some guys you didn't want to see come because you knew you were out of the game.
Yeah.
Here comes Joe Girardi. CC Sabathia, who won 2 games in the division series against the Orioles. Won a complete game, the other 8 2/3. Trying to extend the Yankee season today. But they chase him in the fourth. And speaking of today's pitching stats, our relief pitcher profile is brought to you by the Droid Razor M by Motorola. Cody Epley on in relief of CC Sabathia.
Cody Epley's done a really nice job. He's tough to hit, hard sinker that just hitters don't pick up. And he's done a nice job out of the pen, a specialty guy, and they need him to do pick up the slack here. That's not your typical CC line, and the frustration of pitching in this game is you can share it on everyone's faces.
And the runner at second belongs to him, Andy Dirks, whose double chased him here in the fourth. So this is Miguel Cabrera launching here in the fourth, and Johnny Peralta not as far but just as effective. And then it was Dirks to the gap. And that was the end of the day for CC Sabathia.
Yeah, just, you know, he's out there battling, and what can you say? It just sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. A frustration that every pitcher at some point goes through when little dribblers get in, errors behind them, and then ultimately the home runs.
Abisail Garcia facing Epley. And he waves at the first one, 0-1. Garcia with an RBI off of Sabathia. That came in the third. His fourth of the postseason. Mainly in the lineup against left-handed pitching. This is the right-hander Epley, who's ahead 0-1. And now 0-2. The inning started with a strikeout of Austin Jackson. In a single by Infante, homer by Cabrera. Fielder struck out. Then Young singled and Peralta went deep. And Dirks doubled. Broken bat grounded to short. Nunez gets Garcia. And that'll do it for the Tigers in the fourth. But did they do some damage? The Triple Crown winner. And the sparkling shortstop. It's 6-0. We move to the top half of the 5th inning. Comerica Park hasn't exactly settled down from what they witnessed in the bottom half of the 4th. A 4-run outburst, couple of long balls, and a 6-0 lead. As they lead the series 3-0. Eric Chavez leads it off against Max Scherzer. And so if you're Scherzer and you're watching all this unfold and you take the mound with a 6-0 lead in the 5th, Jim.
You got to grind a little bit more than you did when it was 2-0, honestly, because this is the kind of situation where you don't expect breathing room against CC Sabathia. You go into the game thinking, I must pitch my best. Yeah. He's going to pitch his best. And now all of a sudden, 6-0, you've got to refine your ability to throw strikes.
And I think he's had success in these first 4 innings, no-hit innings, because he's been able to use all his pitches. Sometimes when you get a big lead, you start to become fastball happy.
Right. Still got to pitch.
Here's the 2-1. There's lots of foul territory here. Not stay in.
And the interesting thing, the most nervous I've ever been in a big game was when I was given 3 runs in the first inning of Game 7. All of a sudden it was mine to lose.
Yeah.
You know, you think about that when you have that lead, and then once you realize it's just about pitching, you can put that away. But everyone wants the lead.
Chavez struck out his first time, and he fouls it away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So it's not an opportunity to exhale and relax. It's an opportunity to buckle down even more.
Yeah, I mean, you get excited. There's no doubt. You want a lead.
It's almost like you have an imaginary basket behind the mound. You just want to fill it with outs.
Right.
Get as many as you can. And for the Yankees, you want to chip away. Want to get some people on. Use that ability to hit the ball at the ballpark.
Chavez goes down swinging to open the 5th.
And I'll tell you, there's games when every pitcher knows he's terrible, and you're going, boys, you can't score enough tonight for me. Right now, Scherzer is on his game. He's got 8 strikeouts. You can tell he's intense with everything that he has done. And with the exception of a Bull Durham pitch to Ichiro, he's been around the plate and made the hitters really think about every pitch he has to throw.
Here's Russell Martin. Scherzer's second pitch of the game was behind Ichiro in the dirt. Ichiro would pop out to lead off the game. Martin flied out to center his first time, and he's behind in this one 0-2.
I mean, if you could have told me in April he's 1-3 with a 7.77 ERA, that he was going to put a stretch together and every month get better and better, wow, the Tigers benefited.
2 balls and a strike.
This is about 100 people are going to come away with a baseball today. This foul ball crazy into the stands. What you get when a guy rushes it up there, could throw it up, down, out, in. He may not know where it's going all the time.
Scherzer ahead 1-2, and he strikes out Martin. 9 Ks in 4 2/3. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
The Tigers starting pitchers in the postseason, their last 42 innings pitched, 1 earned run.
They have been, in a word, dominant. And Scherzer continuing that trend here today. As Gardner takes a strike. It's Game 4 of the American League Championship Series. As we come to you dinner time in Detroit. And the Tigers feasting on CC Sabathia here in Game 4 to grab a 6-0 lead. That'll be easy for Austin Jackson. And another 1-2-3 inning for Max Scherzer.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Bottom half of the 5th inning. The Detroit Tigers looking for a sweep of the American League Championship Series against the New York Yankees and leading 6-0 as Gerald Laird leads it off and takes a strike. Cody Epley, the second Yankee pitcher, coming on in relief of CC Sabathia, who couldn't make it out of the 4th. Epley was not on the ALDS roster for the Yankees, was added for the American League Championship Series. And originally, Eduardo Nunez was taken off of the roster because of the surplus of right-handed pitching on the Detroit side. But then when Jeter got hurt, Nunez was back on the roster. Two balls and 2 strikes to Laird. Cabrera and Garcia. Bookends in that Detroit dugout.
If I were Garcia, I'd sit next to him all the time too. Hopefully for the next 4, 5, 6 years.
Just sit and listen.
Me and my shadow.
I mean, it's the same way with pitchers. Pitchers talk to try and help each other out and what they're trying to do and how they're attacking hitters. Hitters are going to do the same thing, especially if they have similar hitting styles or the way that a pitcher's trying to get them out.
I think I saw Miguel tell him, the only thing you're doing wrong today is you didn't wear the eye black.
That's right, yeah.
Payoff pitch to Laird. Right back to Epley. He throws him out, 1 down. Watching The Big Bang Theory on TBS is a lot better than not watching it on TBS. So watch 2 full hours of The Big Bang Theory tonight starting at 9, 8 Central, only on TBS. Very funny. So The Big Bang Theory in effect in the 4th inning for Detroit. Cabrera and Peralta launching 2-run shots that turned a 2-0 game into a 6-0 game. And we play in the bottom of the 5th. And it was no theory in the 4th, as a matter of fact. It was actual long ball. Fourth time to the plate for Austin Jackson. And we're in the 5th. He's popped up, walked, and struck out.
Gene Lamont with the assist.
Gene Lamont is the Tigers' third base coach. And over at first base is Tom Brookins. And Tom's a grandfather. Has his grandson out here before the game. His grandson is 5 years old, and his name is Gage. I said, like in 12 gauge? He said, yeah, like in 12 gauge. He said, now that is going to be a tough kid. And you're named after a shotgun.
Some kind of hitter, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was out there hitting them ground balls, throwing him a little BP. Doesn't get much better than that for Tom Brookins. Fouled away by Jackson. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, when you look at the mound, something new some parks have. See that little runway strip? That's not in every ballpark. And when you see that, it's a little bit different. Normally that's grass. But I loved it. I thought it actually gave me a better view of the catcher and home plate. Almost hone you in on like that lane you're going to throw. So just a unique feature that not every baseball park has.
Maybe like tunnel vision, didn't it, John?
Yeah, I mean, the 2 things that worked for you, I thought, when you're on the mound, dugouts close, makes you feel like you're on top of the hitter. Dugouts far away. Oakland, you felt like you were pitching from 90 feet because the dugouts are so, the foul territory is so big there.
Payoff pitch due to Jackson. On the ground into left field. And a 1-out base hit here in the 5th.
We're on base a couple more times for Jackson with a walk and a base hit. Epley is a guy that's going to give up a lot of ground balls, and Tigers are finding some holes today.
They are. And this whole series just turned on a dime in game 1 for what I think what could have been a much different scenario in game 4. The Tigers holding on after that historic comeback by the Yankees and winning that game, saving a teammate, changing the bullpen, has turned this series to the 3-0 they've got.
And Fonte hit it on the nose, but right at Gardner in center for the 2nd out.
Well, Jim Leland said, if you would have told me that Drew Smyly would pitch an extra innings in Yankee Stadium and get the win, I would have told you were crazy.
Another Tiger fan salute to Cabrera. Missed inside, 1-0. Last time up in the fourth. A towering home run by Cabrera.
Let me tell you, that's not a horrible pitch. It just is how good he is. He called for it in, he got it in, probably not as far in, maybe an inch makes a big difference, but that's how good he is. Down, up, out, in, he will adjust.
Looks like the Tigers are going to keep the MVP trophy here in Detroit. Last year Verlander, this year Cabrera.
Ball and 2 strikes. Certainly was debate with the year that Mike Trout had and the Triple Crown year that Cabrera had. But in your guys' mind, there is no question.
Yeah, that was just new age theory debate. That's not baseball debate as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, I'm just saying there was debate. A looper off the glove of Nunez. They're at first and second, but continue.
Well, I just think, you know, everyone's trying to find ways as Joe's coming out here and trying to find the opportunity to still manage this game. But we'll probably talk about it after this pitching change. Help me out and pick it back up or I'll forget.
Yes, I will remind you. Clay Rapata, lefty, has been getting loose. You got Prince Fielder due up. And we'll be back.
Hit.
Let's go down to Craig Sager for a Bank of America game break.
Well, we were rained out here in Detroit last night. They had a rain delay in St. Louis, 3.5 hours during that game, but they were able to finish it. And the big blow came as a pinch hitter, Matt Carpenter, subbing, that is, for the injured Carlos Beltran. And he hits a 2-run home run. That leads to a 3-1 victory and a 2-1 series lead for the Cardinals. Game 4 tonight in St. Louis. Your pitchers, Tim Lincecum back in the starting rotation for the Giants against Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals. That will be on Fox later tonight.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. We'll be watching Joe Buck and Tim McCarver later. Wonder what Beltran's status will be now in that series. That's a big story on the St. Louis side of things as Clay Rapata delivers to Prince Fielder and misses 1-0.
Well, back to that discussion.
So
the
you reminded
theory.
yourself.
Yeah. We have all these different quantifying statistics that are starting to give more credence to a guy's worth.
Bouncer by Fielder. Cano takes it himself. And that'll do it in the Tiger fifth. We're going to have to continue that discussion another half inning.
I knew it.
Thanks, John. All the runs, all the hits in this game belong to the home team. In what could be the clincher for Detroit against the Yankees. Who will become a legend this October? Cast your postseason vote at MLBFancave.com. Eduardo Nunez, the number 9 hitter, will lead it off for the Yankees as we move to the top half of the 6th. Jimmy Leland, whose Tigers have gotten the better of the Yankees in 2 playoff series in Leland's tenure in Detroit. That ball is well hit in the gap in left center and out of the reach of Austin Jackson. Nunez rounds second and pulls into third. The first hit of the day for the Yankees off Max Scherzer, and they stand here at Comerica Park.
Well, in a weird way, that might take some pressure off of Jim Leland as he hangs a slider over the middle of the plate, because had he had a no-hitter going and exceeded that pitch limit, it would have been awfully difficult to take him out of the game. A valiant effort by Jackson, and we all know this park gives up a lot of triples.
Yeah, when you've gotten it out of the reach of Jackson in center, you're doing something. And here's Ichiro.
Well, Nunez has done his part, right? Put in for some offense. He hit a hanging curveball from Verlander in the 9th inning on Tuesday for a home run, and a hanging slider there for a triple.
Ichiro has popped up and walked, and he's behind 0-2. Second toughest guy in the American League to strike out.
And at this point, you got blinders on. You don't even care who's at third. You're just trying to get outs. Don't try to do anything to preserve anything other than you need outs.
Ichiro tried to check it, could not. 1 down. 10 strikeouts for Max Scherzer.
There are the relievers for the Tigers. Hotel and Smiley.
Told you early on that while Scherzer was number 2 to Verlander in strikeouts during the regular season, he was number 1 in the American League in strikeouts per 9 innings with 11. He's sitting on 10 here in the 6th. Had 4 games of double-digit strikeouts in the regular season.
Show you how hard that is to do. Had the number 1 and 2 in strikeouts. Hasn't been done in the American League since Nolan Ryan and Frank Tanana in 1976.
I'm assuming that that's the harder throwing Frank Tanana.
Yes.
People forget he pitched so long and changed his ways that he was a flamethrower in his own right before he got hurt.
Took some wonderful years here in Detroit.
Swisher hits it well to the gap in right center field. That'll get down for extra bases. The Yankees are on the board, and Swisher is at second with a double. It is a 6-1 game.
Well, you're never comfortable against this lineup despite their inability to score in this series. Swisher talked about in the open, Craig Sager talked about in the open that he worked on a few things mechanically, staying back, and he did there.
Now, this team never thinks anything's over, as evidence to how they've gotten here.
Here's Cano. Takes a strike. Cano is 0 for 2. 1 for 16 in the series. 3 for 38 in the postseason. Stunning numbers when you consider the tear he was on coming into the postseason. 615 over a 9-game stretch. Scherzer was ready to go. Cano stepped out, and Jeff Nelson called time. On the ground to first, Fielder will take that one himself for the second out. Speaking of Craig Sager, as you were, Ron, let us check in again with Craig.
Well, Max Scherzer again took the mound tonight with a heavy heart in remembrance of his younger brother and his best friend, Alex. Alex had been battling depression. On June 21st, he took his own life. 2 days later, Max took his scheduled start, but said he would only do it if the entire family was there, and they did it as a testimony to his brother. He said it was one of the hardest things he had to do, much harder than he ever thought. He said his younger brother is his best friend, and every time he takes the mound, he does it for his brother. Virginia.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. And obviously, you can get so much caught up with the stats and the numbers and performance and that kind of thing, and totally forget the fact of the humanity involved here. And an excellent example there from Craig on Scherzer. Ball on a strike to Teixeira, who is 0 for 2. Fly out and a strikeout.
95 pitches. More than likely, we'd like to get him through. Jim would like to get him through this inning.
Way inside again, a Ichiro type pitch from the first inning that made Teixeira skip out of the way. Well, it's a huge game for Max Scherzer, and he's responded.
He sure has. I mean, look, dominated during the year, especially after the first month. Had a little shoulder fatigue, and Jonesy's going to go out right now and just make sure that everything's all in line, and certainly not put him in any position to fatigue himself out. But he said, Scherzer said, everything's fine. Everything's fine, and I'm ready to go.
That he was 100%. It was pretty interesting, his face, though, the frustration as Jeff Jones walked out there like, I got this. Let me finish this inning up. But when you're a manager and a pitching coach and a guy leaves with shoulder fatigue on September 18th, you want to monitor him closely. For the Tigers, they think they have more games to play.
Absolutely. That goes into the matrix of a manager's decisions.
2-1 to Teixeira. This is down low. 3 balls and a strike. The Yankees have gotten on the board here in the 6th. Leadoff triple by Eduardo Nunez. And a 1-out double by Nick Swisher, who stands at third with 2 out. And now they're at the corners with 2 out. On the second walk of the game by Scherzer. .98 pitches for Scherzer, and that will be all. Jim Leyland on his way to the mound, and 42,000 plus on their feet. Brand new episodes on a brand new network. Cougar Town has moved to TBS. The new season begins this January. Well, Raul Ibanez is due here in the 6th. Alex Rodriguez is putting on a helmet. And the new pitcher is the left-hander Drew Smiley. So A-Rod getting the call here in the 6th.
A little late here, though, when you have the pitcher come out and throw his warm-up pitches. Usually you see the hitter on deck for the entire warm-up, watching the pitcher throw. A-Rod getting to the on-deck circle a little late.
Rodriguez hitting .130, 3 for 23 in the postseason with 12 strikeouts. He's been pinch hit for 3 times in the postseason. Tonight, he pinch hits for Ibanez here in the 6th. In a 6-1 game. Runners on the corners with 2 out.
Certain times you got to take your shot. This is the shot for Joe Girardi and the Yankees, just trying to get back in this game, hoping for one big swing.
Well, we already mentioned left field more attainable than right field. At least it was. The wind has died down. flags are pretty much limp right now.
Starts him with a breaking pitch. 0-1. Smiley came on in game 1 of this series. Pressure spot and responded as the Tigers won in extra innings. Ball and a strike.
A-Rod has not had a home run in his last 84 at-bats in the postseason. The Yankees are hoping that changes here, if nothing nonetheless. Keep the inning going.
Threw it by him, 1-2.
Fastball just says, here it is. Try and hit it. Ties him up. See his hands get pulled in right here.
To center field. Austin Jackson. 3 out. Bottom half of the 6th inning here in Detroit. Tigers a win away from advancing to the World Series and leading 6-1 as Jabba Chamberlain comes on for the Yankees.
Well, Jabba still throws the ball hard. Good tight slider. Had all kinds of things, as we've talked about, happen to him this year. trying to finish up this year and really probably looking forward to a healthier offseason and a healthier next year.
Delman Young takes a strike. He knocked in the first Detroit run in the first. Walked in the third. Singled in the fourth and then scored in front of Johnny Peralta on the 2-run homer.
We started out this series, and in our first open, I can remember talking about, can the Tigers win the close game? There was a little bit of suspicion towards their closer, whether or not he had the same stuff as last year, and could he do it? It started off bad, but since then, Coke has really been a big part of it. And let's not forget Drew Smiley in the first game, being able to pitch under those circumstances in Yankee Stadium. So for Jim Leyland, I'm sure the wheels are turning on how he's going to get these next 18 outs. 9 outs, sorry.
18
probably feels like 18.
Yeah, right? Well, I think if you look back and the Tigers are able to hold on to this lead, really his handling of Jose Valverde, I think, was one of the keys to this series. Explaining to anyone who would listen that he was not a piece of meat, that he had saved 110 of 118 games here in Detroit.
Ball's well hit to right center field. But Swisher is there to squeeze it for the first out of the 6th. Here's Johnny Peralta, who hit his first home run of the postseason, and picked up his first 2 RBIs in the 4th inning.
Jeff Jones, he doesn't even move now. He's just going to sit next to the phone, John, for the remaining outs.
Peralta takes in tight 1-0. Peralta with 11 postseason hits, which leads the club. And here was the home run in the 4th inning.
High slider, he just lifts up in the air and it just keeps going.
Well, he is a high ball hitter all the way. Well, you know, it's interesting. Earlier in the year, there was some talk of Peralta had lost a step defensively. Jim Leyland has said that he is playing his best defense, moving better than he has all season long.
Takes a strike. He only made 7 errors all year. In short, he was second in fielding percentage to J.J. Hardy of Baltimore. And only 2 errors in his last 97 games. A couple of great bare hand plays in that opener. And John, you've talked about it. That opener, just critical to the way this series has played out.
Yeah, everything about that first game set the tone for what could have gone severely wrong for Detroit, and they don't recover, or could have gone in the way that it did and gave them those 2, I think, emotional wins in Yankee Stadium.
On the ground to third, Chavez across the diamond. 2 up and 2 down. Yankees haven't even sniffed a 3-up, 3-down inning until here in the 6th. Tigers really knocked CC Sabathia around. 11 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned in just 3 2/3. Here's Andy Dirks. He's reached every time. Single, a double, and reached on an error.
Jabba has so much potential of what he can do if he could just stay healthy. Bounced around from relieving to starting to relieving. I think he's found his role.
Dirk stays alive, 0-2. Well, for Jabba, it was the Tommy John, and it was the trampoline accident with the terrible ankle injury. Slapped into left field. Nice piece of hitting by Dirks. He's 3 out of 4. And here's Mini Miggy. Avisail Garcia. Over for a strike, 0-1. Really not much mini to it. He's 6'4", 240, and so is Miguel Cabrera, as you go by the book.
All 4 of those hits, we saw that 4 for 9, have come with runners in scoring position for the 21-year-old right fielder.
And another one of those tonight in the 3rd when the Tigers scored once. Little tapper foul.
Jim Leland was talking about Garcia. He says, not sure what they're going to do next year. They don't know if they want to send him to AAA to play there half the year and then come up and be a starter, or platoon him maybe in right field, as they're doing this year with Quinton Berry, or maybe just throw him to the Wolves and have him start next year.
And it's an interesting dilemma, because if you platoon him, you don't know what you're going to get. If you get him down there and get at bats every day for the first half, he's more apt to come up and be an everyday player.
If he does go to AAA, it'll be the first time. He made the jump from AA to the bigs this year, and was the Tigers organization's minor league player of the year. And you're seeing why here in this series.
And I think in this day and age, I think that's the one thing that's being missed by a lot of positions, meaning the pitcher doesn't get enough work down there sometimes. He gets called up early. Sometimes it defines his career in an adverse way. You never know how the personality is. Same thing with a hitter. You got to know who you are and what you can do. And platooning sounds nice and it's great, but for a young player, they then become confined to just facing left-handers, and you never know if they really can face right-handers on an everyday basis.
The 0-2 in the dirt. Dirks stays at first on the block by Russell Martin.
I think one of the things, John, you learn in the minor leagues if you spend enough time down there is that how to perpetuate hot streaks and how to stop cold streaks. I mean, those are the things that you kind of learn down there, so when you come up to the major leagues, you're ready to go.
Well, I know the stopping the cold streaks, but what did you say about the hot streaks?
Just keep the hot streaks going on and on.
Because he used perpetuate, I think, is what it was. I just wanted to make sure I didn't sound like I.
You're a piece of work. 1-2. In the air to right center. Pretty well hit off the track, on the bounce. Ground rule double. It's going to cost the Tigers an insurance run. Dirks goes back to 3rd. A high bounce off the warning track and into the seats.
Interesting that this ball, when it got in the air, it looked like Gardner had a beat on it, but the wind just kept pulling it away from him. See that classic swing. Swisher gave it to Gardner. Gardner could not get there as the wind took it away from him.
And you saw the only part it could have bounced over that wall is that slant right there. That wall's higher as you go more to the left.
Didn't get the ball, but lost half his beer.
So they're at 2nd and 3rd for Gerald Laird. Tigers lead at 6-1 and looking for more here in the 6th.
14 hits for the Tigers.
Laird is 0 for 3, the number 9 hitter in the Tigers order. And he takes a strike. Laird was in the starting lineup against the left-handed starter Sabathia. Normally against righties, it's Alex Avila. Up the middle and off the leg of Chamberlain, and the flip just does get him. What else can hit Jabba Chamberlain in this series? This American League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by the Capital One Cash Rewards Card. Moving to the 7th inning here in Detroit. And Jim Leland is moving toward the mound. The Yankees had Jason Nix coming up to pinch hit against the left-hander Drew Smyly. And Leland is going to go to Octavio Dotel as we go to the 7th, and we'll be right back. base. Top half of the 7th inning, and a pitching change before the leadoff hitter can come to the plate. Jason Nix now striding toward the batter's box. And Octavio Dotel relieves Drew Smiley, who worked to one hitter. That was Alex Rodriguez in the 6th.
When journeyman is used, I think the definition is Octavio Dotel because of the teams he's played with. Long lever. And what I mean by that is he's got a sweeping arm motion, and the ball gets up on the hitter. He cuts it, slurves it, curves it. He's been around.
Jason Nix pinch hitting for Eric Chavez, takes a strike. 13 teams for Dotel. Mets, Astros, A's, Yankees, Royals, Braves, White Sox, Pirates, Dodgers, Rockies, Blue Jays, the Cardinals, and now the Tigers.
Don't forget, he played a big part for Tony La Russa's world champions last year, down the stretch and in the postseason.
Sure did.
He's 38 years old, will turn 39 in November. You know, in the course of his career, not only effective out of the pen, but really as a mentor to a lot of young pitchers.
Now, the worst thing you can do at this point is think about those 9 outs. You just got to go out there and execute, get the leadoff guy. Just simplify everything that you do and not get carried away with only 9 outs left.
2-1 to Nix. Cut right through it. Count even.
The reason I'm saying it is because it happens.
Yeah, all right. And Nix, on the other hand, is just trying to start something. Turn that lineup over, try to get some of those big bats up with some people on base to try to chip away at this lead.
3 balls and 2 strikes. No, we saw that in evidence in the last inning. The Yankees had 2 guys on. The game is 6-1. Alex Rodriguez pinch hits. And Smiley coaxed a fly ball to center field off of him. In a situation where a long ball makes it a 2-run game.
Dotel knows in this situation, try to throw it right down the middle and see what happens. You don't want to give a free pass, create any easy way to get on. Let him earn his way on by hitting.
Leadoff walk in the 7th.
Jimmy Leland going over the heater.
We talked to him about just the way he was. It seems like he sits there and watches the game and takes it all in, is cool, calm, and collective. He said, don't kid yourself. Anyone who tells you as a manager they're just kind of emotionless is probably not cut out for the job much longer, because
we're not telling the truth.
Yeah, I'm grinding just like a player's grinding, trying to figure it out, and your heart is racing.
And Curtis Granderson has a bat. He will pinch hit here in the 7th for Russell Martin. So Granderson, who was benched for this game, did not start. And A-Rod, who was benched, both making pinch hitting appearances here in game 4. Anderson swings at the first pitch and fouls it straight back. Joaquin Benoit, Coke 0 up in the Detroit bullpen here in the 7th.
Reason you're seeing Coke up there and not waiting for the 9th, because the 7th or 8th could be a big moment. And in these games, you don't wait for your typical, because they don't have a prototypical closer per se. You don't wait for just the 9th inning.
Jimmy Leland and Rafael Belliard. They're on the top step of the Tiger dugout. Dotel with an 0-2 to Granderson. Breaking pitch. Got him. Jeff Kellogg rang him up down at third.
Tell you what, at first look, it looked like it was a lot of elbows and not the bat. But that last little flick, maybe of the barrel of the bat, is what the third base umpire saw, just enough to maybe coax in the call.
Jordy doesn't agree.
Granderson now 0 for 11 with 7 strikeouts in the American League Championship Series. Here's Brett Gardner.
We're so used to, when we talk about relievers, so used to seeing the Yankees and Mariano Rivera. Well, we know he got hurt, and Soriano has done an incredible job, but no saves this whole postseason. Don't know how many times that's happened before, but it's hard to get saves when you don't get the lead. They only had it a couple times in one dramatic fashion with the Orioles.
You know, it's interesting having Dotel in this game here in the 7th. Having Koch and Benoit up also in the 7th. Start to get to the point where you're sensing that Valverde might pitch the 9th.
Fouled off by Gardner. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
But to put it in perspective, I mean, looking at numbers, and Rivera had 14 6+ out saves in postseason. Most by a long shot, not even close. No one's even close second, but anticipate whether he comes back next year and is able to go out on his own terms.
Strike 3 to Brett Gardner. Back-to-back strikeouts by Dotel. 2 down.
This is one of those sliders that just hung there and didn't break and just kind of fooled Gardner at the last moment. Just a little spinner that Gardner just swings through. See, it's trying to break, trying to spin, but doesn't.
And now Dotel will face Eduardo Nunez, number 9 hitter in the Yankee order. Homered in game 3, tripled here in game 4, scored the only New York run.
I'm going to make him hit a fastball if I'm a Tiger pitcher. I've seen enough of the sliders that he was able. He had a great at bat against Verlander. I mean, 9 pitches or something like that, fouled off a few changeups, and then hit a slider for a home run in the 9th to make that game very interesting, to say the least. And then hit a slider in the deepest part of the park for a triple.
That's Jason Nix, who walked as a pinch hitter to lead off the 7th. He's still at first with 2 down. In the air to center. Jackson squeezes. Now 6 outs away as they stretch in Detroit. Yep, we'll get it. Seventh inning stretch here in Detroit. Tigers on top 6-1, trying to sweep the New York Yankees. John Smoltz, Ron Darling here. When we came on the air, we talked about what had gotten the Tigers to this point, and it has continued here in Game 4.
Yeah, really starting pitching has just been unbelievable. You look at the big four there, and I think the trade for Anibal Sanchez really solidified this rotation that every time they throw out a quality starter, and they also have that Verlander weapon that every fourth time when he goes out there, just almost unhittable.
Austin Jackson leading off the seventh in style of Derek Lowe. It's 7-1.
The themes we talked about coming into this series was the maturation of Austin Jackson, and picks on this first pitch sinker from Derek Lowe and a long home run to left field.
Here's Omar Infante. Lowe, one of the changes for the Yankees here in the seventh. He's the fourth pitcher of the night. Curtis Granderson stays in the game in center field. Jason Nix at third, and Chris Stewart is the new Yankee catcher. Finally a break for Russell Martin. They pinch hit for him. He had logged every inning, every pitch. Stewart in there now in the seventh. On the ground, and that throw is high. But Teixeira comes down on the bag. He saved Nix an error.
Well, the thing that saves Nix here is that as soon as he fields it, gets rid of it very quickly. But the throw is errant, but Teixeira with a great jump and landing right on top of that bag. Fine play.
Infante took care of Teixeira by making sure he didn't step on his foot.
As you can tell by the chants of MVP, Miguel Cabrera up here in the seventh. Kind of reminds me of a conversation we started a few innings ago, John.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
About the MVP debate between him and Mike Trout.
Yeah, Mike Trout had an awesome year for his team. Rookie of the year, future MVP candidate, just not this year.
In the air to right, Swisher got to come hard to make that play. Get your team's news first with the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report, and you'll never miss another big moment with your team. Download Team Stream on the App Store or Google Play. Here's Prince Fielder. He's had a couple of hits, scored a run. To third, and Nix throws Fielder out for the third out. But Austin Jackson beats Derek Lowe with a solo blast. Third homer of the night for the Tigers. Vote, yeah. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. We make our way to the 8th inning here in Detroit. The guy who has saved 2 games in this series, the left-hander Phil Koch, comes on with the Tigers leading 7-1.
Well, and he comes in the game with more power to him. He's sprinting out of the dugout, out of the bullpen, but he has enough time to get to the mound to calm down and do what he's done the last couple times he's been out there.
He will face the top of the Yankee lineup here in the 8th. Ichiro popped up, walked, and struck out.
Remember that trade for Ichiro in the middle of the season? There are a lot of things that he had to agree to before he came to the Yankees, where he would hit, where he would play, where he would hit in the lineup, and decided to take those all in because he wanted one chance to go to the World Series.
He hit better than .320 when he came over from Seattle. Stole some bases. Had a major impact on this team. And ironically, in his only other postseason appearance in 2001 as a rookie with Seattle, it ended against the Yankees, and New York fans were serenading him with Sayonara Ichiro. That stuck with him for all these years into his next postseason appearance here in 2012. Now he and the Yankees down to their last 6 outs, trailing 7-1. Koch with the 1-2, right back at him, knocks it down, throws it out. Think about the storylines for the Yankees season, and obviously injuries, including that to Rivera during batting practice, shagging flies. Once again, fence busters with franchise high 245 home runs. But here in the postseason, the bats have been in the deep freeze. Injuries. Derek Jeter, you lose him.
In the postseason, you had a team that won 95 games, and at different times in this series, you've had to sit Alex Rodriguez, Nick Swisher, Curtis Granderson.
Well, and you've got a city and a few papers that want to know reasons. They're going to want to know answers. They want to know how this could happen from a team that offensively had an incredible year. But again, I hate that Joe Girardi did such an incredible job to get him here that this series is going to have any bearing at all. I mean, you do what you can. You change the lineups. You do everything you can as a manager. You plug in the pieces. It just didn't work. The offense went completely dormant.
Andy Pettitte hoping to get the ball again in this series, but they're down 7-1 here in the 8th. And when you talk to Joe Girardi before a game too, he would tell you, look, you don't think I really want to sit a guy who's number 5 on the all-time home run list, or a guy like Granderson who's got 43 home runs in the regular season, but you have to do something. And look at the production from guys on your team.
Yeah, he did not want to have to make these decisions. You have to shake it up somehow. But when you are the New York Yankees, it's World Series or bust, really. There's no other scenario for their team, and they'll be defined by this series.
Swisher to left center. 2 down.
Well, when you go there a lot, I certainly have felt this in my own career, and you don't win as much as people think you should. Every year is a different contributing factor. But when you don't win as many times as people think you should, it's they want answers, and they want change, and they want this.
Well, here's Robbie Cano. Now 1 out of 17 in this series with his 0 for 3 tonight.
Saw the last time the Yankees were swept, 1976. Sparky Anderson's Big Red Machine scored 8 runs in those 4 games. Very similar scenario.
The Yankees have not led in this series.
There's only been 4 other teams that have had that happen and being swept and not led. The last time that happened were the '63 Dodgers versus the Yankees.
Is amped up. 95 up and in. Ball and 2 strikes. He has even said that this has been a new experience in just the different levels of adrenaline in these situations that he had in Game 3. On the ground on the right side, fielder with a great backhand. And they got him. When it's going right, it's going right. 3 outs away.
if it's over.
State of the game brought to you by State Farm. Detroit cranking out the big bats here in Game 4. Miguel Cabrera, a 2-run shot. That came in the 4th, and so did this by Johnny Peralta. And with the score 6-1, Austin Jackson went solo in the 7th. The Tigers lead it 7-1. They lead the series 3-0. And it's the bottom half of the 8th inning. Here's Delman Young facing David Robertson.
Well, they put a lot of heat on CeCe. Even in the first 3 innings, they only had 2 runs, and he battled, but it was a lot of jams he had to get out of. And unfortunately, in the next inning, he just couldn't get out of that inning.
Robertson, the 6th New York pitcher here in Game 4. And he's ahead of Young, 1-2.
Be interesting for me to see what Andy Pettitte decides to do. He's scheduled to pitch tomorrow, and unless there's a monster rally, what he does, if he comes back another year or not.
Fouled on the right side. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. That Yankee team so long defined by that core 4. Questions about Pettitte. Posada retired. Saw Jeter with the injury. As Young grounds to second for the first out. Mike Ilitch, one of the most respected businessmen in the city of Detroit, and owner of this Tiger team. He got 4 Stanley Cups with the Red Wings. The hiring of Jim Leland, Dave Dombrowski. Key moves. And Ilitch also in the course of his tenure, at a time when the economy was tough. He had sponsors here, longtime sponsors of the Tigers, who couldn't afford to maybe maintain that sponsorship. And he took the stance of, look, you're important to us. You pay us when you can, just like a modern day George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life. Like, you're good for it, and we'll get through this. And look at Peralta with a bullet over the wall and left, and it's now an 8-1 Tiger lead.
Takes a fastball that's supposed to be away and just smokes it down the left field corner. Bullpen catcher, I think, catches this ball.
Again, Peralta starts this series with his defense and ends it with his offense.
Here's Andy Dirks. 4th home run of the night for the Tigers, the 2nd by Peralta. It's 8-1, and better than 42,000 here. Standing room only can taste it.
It's almost as if right field is not even in play in this park, the way that left field plays with the wind, excluding that the home run in the 9th. I mean, left field's the place to try to go hit the ball.
You have to go all the way back to 1921 and 1922 to go to a team that ousted the Yankees in consecutive postseasons. That was John McGraw's New York Giants.
Strike three to Dirks for the second out. And we got the blimp up on this good night to fly. It's a good night to shoot home runs too. Another look at Peralta's solo shot.
Clenched teeth for Robertson, who knew right away. Peralta, baseball's version of piling on here.
Strike one to Garcia. And then you go back to that again, the core four situation with Posada retired. Jeter, the injury in the postseason, going to be rehabbing. Andy Pettit, what happens? Mariano Rivera. Just think about that injury, shagging fly balls, which ended his season. Made it a totally different postseason for New York as well. Here in Detroit, 3 outs away. This American League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by the Capital One Cash Rewards Card. Well, we're going to the ninth. Last time the Tigers went to the World Series, this is the shot that took them there. Maglio Ordonez. 3-run walk-off homer off Houston Street.
And there could be some irony with that. The time off they're going to have. They face the Cardinals after that. Remember, the pitching staff didn't do too well fielding their position.
Mark Teixeira leads it off for the Yankees in the ninth against Phil Cope. This is the time these fans have waited all day yesterday, only to watch that game washed away, and all day today to watch their heroes in the 9th inning. Ball and a strike. Teixeira has fouled out, struck out, and walked.
We don't know if Koch's going to go the entire 9th inning here, but he has been so valuable, hasn't he?
He really has. Picked up a huge hole.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The next time Justin Verlander wants to see a baseball is Game 1 of the World Series. A little blooper right at Peralta. 1 down.
Benoit and Valverde warming up for a team that was supposed to run away with the American League Central. We were only in first place 15 days over the course of the summer, 2 outs away from going to the World Series.
Here's Rodriguez. Did not start. Came on as a pinch hitter. That came in the 6th. And he flied out to center with 2 men on. Outside 2-0. You know, this game began in bright sunshine. 4 o'clock this afternoon. Jimmy Leland still got the shades on. Here it's 7:35 in Detroit. 3-0. Not changing a thing. His team up 8-1. The 3-0. Over for a strike.
It's okay to count outs now.
On the ground, Peralta. He's had himself quite a night. And out away.
Well, you talked about Jim Leland with his sunglasses on being superstitious. Keeping Koch in there. It's been a good superstition, too.
Jason Nix takes a strike. Max Scherzer. Huge start here in Game 4. Following up Justin Verlander.
You got a situation here now where Justin Verlander with the rest will start Game 1. You can set up your pitching rotation any way you want. That's the no-brainer.
This is going to do it. Prince Fielder wants it. The Tigers are going to the World Series for the 11th time in franchise history. Both been there. Certainly this is not the ultimate celebration, but it's getting to the ultimate destination, the World Series.
Yeah, it's a great feeling and not a better situation for the Tigers when you think about how they got in and what they had to do, push to the limit in Game 5 at Oakland. Their horse was on the mound, and now their horse, speaking of horses as they come on the field, their horse is going to open up the World Series. Don't know where. Will be on the road, but it is a great feeling.
Well, Jim Leyland's staff now just inching out towards the field. Jim Leyland told us, he said, listen, celebrations are for the players. Let them celebrate. But now they're trying to get in the middle of it. Jose Valverde, will they be able to get him right in the time that they have off? Will they be able to keep their starting pitchers hot in the postseason? Starters for Detroit, 62 innings pitched, 7 earned runs, 1.02 ERA. Phenomenal.
And they kept the New York Yankees from ever leading in a 4-game sweep. Here was the final out. Make no mistake, Prince Fielder wanted this ball.
Make no mistake, Infante wasn't going to run him over either. You get it.
Best glove throw I've seen in a while right there.
Watch Prince. Everybody get away, I got it.
Like you could get near him anyway.
And the celebration touched off here at Comerica Park. The Triple Crown winner.
How about Jim Leyland didn't leave a seat?
Phil Coke, when this series began, who would have thought the huge role that he would have in this series? But boy, did he. So did Johnny Peralta. He's with Craig Sager.
Well, Johnny, you've been hot the entire postseason. 12 postseason hits, 2 big home runs tonight. Why are you hitting the ball so well at this time of year?
I don't know. You know, I feel really good in the postseason. And I've been doing from I got to Cleveland the last time. I've been doing that, and you know I feel really good. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, this is a sweep for the Tigers, but you look back to Game 1, and that certainly could have gone either way. Your fielding also has been spectacular. Your manager says you're playing better than you have all season. How have you been staying in condition, and how you're playing so well right now?
I mean, like you say, I've been doing really good. You know, good defense, And I don't know how to explain it. You know, I'm doing really good right now. A lot of the guys doing good, and we feel really good to be.
How about the spectacular pitching? Great in the first 3 games. Now you hold the Yankees to just 2 hits in Game 4. How much easier does that make your job?
You know, it's easy. You know, the starting pitcher doing really good. Everybody, the starting pitcher, doing what they need to do. And, you know, great job. And, you know, offense and defense, we're doing really good this year.
You've had a great career. You've never been better than you have in this postseason. Good luck. Keep it going.
Thank you.
The Tigers with 4 home runs in the clincher, 2 by Johnny Peralta. Cabrera connected, so did Austin Jackson. Justin Verlander and the other Tigers reacting. And Max Scherzer, what a big start in Game 4.
Man, he was unbelievable.
10 punch-outs tonight. Got it into the 6th inning.
And you can see they're getting ready for the ceremony that will take place on the field here at Comerica Park as the Tigers celebrate their 11th trip to the World Series. 1907 to 1909, 1934 and 35, 1940 and 45, 68, 84 and 06, and of course in 84, last time they won it. And bless you boys and Sparky Anderson. And they're going back here in 2012. Let's go down again to Craig Sager.
Well, he is the Triple Crown winner. He is the best hitter in baseball. The fans have already given you the MVP the way they're chanting tonight. A great season. I remember one time during the year you said you'd give up the Triple Crown with a trip to the World Series. Guess what? You get both.
Yeah, we did it. It's unbelievable feeling. Detroit! It's what we worked for a whole year. Try to get to this point. 4 more win, guys. 4 more win, Detroit. Hopefully we get lucky in the World Series and we win the World Series for Detroit.
You got the Triple Crown this year. You got the trip to the World Series. Well, what a pitching staff. Particularly in this series, what they did to the Yankees is unheard of in the history of this game. In your opinion, how great were they?
Unbelievable. It's why we're here right now because all-star pitching. Wow. Thank you. Pitching is all about baseball. If you're pitching, you got a good percent to win games, play defense, get run support, and we did it.
Well, these fans have been behind you all season. It hasn't been an easy year. You didn't overtake the White Sox until late in September. What does it mean to give Detroit a trip to the World Series?
Oh, it was a great race. We never give up. We always believe we can do it, and we still believe we can do it in the World Series. 4 more wins, play hard, bring the ring to Detroit.
All right, congratulations. Enjoy the night, celebrate, get ready for that World Series.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're going to enjoy this.
Well, our final score tonight, the Detroit Tigers 8, the New York Yankees 1. It's a clean sweep. Congratulations to the Tigers, the 2012 American League champions. Coming up on our post-game show, we will bring you more celebration, interviews, and reactions from tonight's game. TBS has been your exclusive home for the American League Championship Series. After the break, stay tuned for Inside MLB, presented by Captain Morgan. They'll have the trophy presentation to the winners of the AL pennant, the Detroit Tigers. Remember to drink responsibly.